Coming up next on Jersey Matters, we travel down to Trenton, New Jersey to talk to the president of the New Jersey Senate and expected candidate for governor about fair school funding. Also, naloxone is a drug that, when administered in time, can save the life of someone who is overdosing. How do you get it? We'll tell you. Those stories and much more because Jersey Matters. Welcome to Jersey Matters. I'm Larry Menti. We come to you from Trenton and the state capitol. We are joined by Senate President Steve Sweeney, who has been dealing, as you've heard in the news, with many issues. One that's not getting as much attention only because it's being overshadowed by the fight over the pension and the fight over the transportation fund is school funding. Equally important, you would agree, to the other two topics. There is this school funding formula that's been around since the 1980s in New Jersey that seems unfair, inherently unfair, where some districts that get more money than they need and other districts aren't getting enough money. You have a plan to fix that.
Yeah, and Larry, in 2008, Governor Corzine, had come up with a new school funding formula. And it was recognized nationally as a way to really fix education for poor districts and rebalance things. Well, it got to the legislature, and the legislature changed it. And unfortunately, the changes made matters worse instead of fixing it. If we had left the formula alone and had just approved it, we wouldn't be in the situation we're in now. What happened is some districts would have lost money, some districts would have gained money, but all in all, the money would have followed the child. There's a set amount for elementary education, which is cheaper than high school education. And there was a set amount for vocational education, which is more expensive. So all the way around, it recognized all the different weights. It recognized urban districts where you have a school district like Patterson that's teaching in 58 different languages to a suburban district. So all the way around, it worked. Well, the legislature put a thing called hold harmless in. We didn't want to have any losers because some districts at the time would have lost some money. So when we changed the formula, and it was only supposed to be temporary for 2 years, but temporary never left. It's been 8 years now and it's still there. You've created an enormous unfunding situation. In my home county of Gloucester, the largest school district in Gloucester County is Washington Township. They're at 140% funding. One of the largest districts in my legislative district in Gloucester County is a district called Kingsway. They're at 43.5% funding.
And explain for a second how that happens so everybody understands what is going on. Why are some districts getting so much more money than other districts?
Well, as I said, we held districts harmless, so we froze their money. So a district that had, say, 3,000 students got money for 3,000 students, but now only might have 2,500 students. And a district that had 2,500 students and now has 3,000 is only getting money for 2,500.
But isn't it the richer districts that are doing better and the poorer districts that aren't doing as well? And isn't part of that tied to the property tax?
No, that's more with the governor's trying to tout a fund, a plan that gives everybody the same amount of money. We actually tout a plan that works and rebalances and puts the school funding formula back in place, Larry. And what we're trying to do is there's no losers in our plan for one reason. Everyone gets to 100% funding. That's our goal. The people that will claim to lose are the districts that are overfunded with our dollars, and the districts, you have districts that are underfunded. But the bigger problem, Larry, is in a county like Gloucester where you have these superintendents. There's a thing called Superintendents Roundtable. They all get in a room and they try to explain to them why one's 43.5 and others 140, and we're all functioning under the same formula. Because we, the legislature, put enrollment caps in place, and we wouldn't let anybody lose any money that they were having. There's another thing called adjustment aid for some different districts, but at the end of the day, the legislature screwed up a good product. Now, things have changed, too, over 8 years. Special education funding, there's transportation issues. So what we said is let's go back and study until June, study what's changed. Let's put the formula back in place. But the one difference, what we're saying now is the legislature cannot vote to change it. Like there'll be a transparent process all the way through. You've heard of BRAC, military base closings.
Yeah.
But not to let the legislature change it, because legislators fight for their districts. And no one's going to allow a district, any school in any school in their district to lose any money.
The legislature has to vote on it at a certain point, though.
Yes.
So they just get an up or down vote?
Yes.
And so you have an independent commission. Can you get a commission that's truly independent?
Yeah, 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats, experts, not elected officials, experts in education funding, whether they were former treasurers of the state or education commissioners, but experts in school funding. You can do that.
Is it the way government's supposed to work, where you take it to the legislature and you tell them, no, you can't debate this, it's just yes or no?
It's different than what we normally do, but the reason why Congress instituted a BRAC commission when they did is because they couldn't accomplish something that needed to be done, because legislators, as I said, have a responsibility to their districts, and no legislator is going to want to see anyone lose anything. So by doing that, you create this unfairness because the haves have and the have-nots don't. So this is one of these things where we have to let our instincts have to go by the wayside, and you have to vote for what's very best for the people of the state. It's very different.
So you have a school district, though, that's getting 140% that you represent. So you don't have a dog in this fight.
Oh, I got a big dog in the fight, because I got a district of 43.5%. So how do I tell the people at 43.5% that are same residents in the same county that are paying?
I understand, but the point I was making is you have some people that are going to be upset at you, and you're still pushing it through.
Yeah, Larry, because like I said, I'm going to have losers, but I keep saying there's no losers because we go to 100%. That's what everyone's goal is. If we had taken the things that the legislature had put in place in 2008 out, if just we took them away and didn't put one more dollar in, every school district would be at 88% funding throughout the state. Now, what we're saying is add some more money. We add $100 million every single year to schools.
The funny thing is, everything I've read about your plan has gotten positive reviews. Yeah. Letters to the editor, commentaries has gotten positive reviews. So is it going to happen?
Well, we're going to pass it in September, and then we're going to, work the assembly to try to get them to move it quickly too, because it needs to get done. It really needs to get done.
And the governor's going to be okay with it?
I think, well, first off, the governor doesn't have to do what we're planning, because it's called a Senate concurrent resolution, Assembly concurrent resolution, which really skips the governor in this process. But as long as we make it bipartisan, Larry. So, I mean, and like where we're looking is, I would pick someone, the minority leader, Tom Kane, would pick someone. The speaker would pick someone, the minority leader in the assembly would pick someone. So it's truly a bipartisan panel. But we need to come up with an outcome, and then once we get the outcome, which we know gets us to 100%, there won't be anybody at 140 anymore, but they'll be at 100. So it's pretty hard to complain. But the ones at 140 are going to say they're not really at 140. They don't have enough money. It's always an argument when it comes to money, but 100% is 100%.
Yeah, the only negative I can see in the entire idea is usurping constitutional power in not allowing a debate and then skipping the governor and skipping the executive office.
But the governor will have to sign this eventually. The governor will have to sign this. But here's the beauty of this. There's actually all the school districts, all the coalitions. There's a coalition of the 100 wealthiest school districts in the state. They endorse this. The superintendents in the state of New Jersey endorse this. The principals endorse this. School Boards Association support this. So anyone that really has a dog in this hunt as far as it goes with education, all the people that actually really care about education think this is the way to go. So look, the reason why I think the governor will sign it at the end is because when you see the numbers, and you're going to see some suburban districts get more, some going to get less than what they're getting right now. But if everyone's going to get 100%, and we can get there. Larry, right now there's $660 million in districts that are overfunded. And if you add $100 million a year for 5 years, we're not looking to hurt anyone. We want to bring it down over 5 years and bring it up over 5 years. So at the end of 5 years, you're at 100% funding.
Wouldn't it be amazing if everybody agreed on this? It would be this would be a first, wouldn't it? It would be a first in Trenton if everybody agreed and it passed.
I can't fault. You're right, but I can't fault the legislators because their instincts are to.
Oh, I get it. I get it. That's what they're. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Senate President Steve Sweeney. Jersey Matters continues right after this.